Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Week 10 Fantasy Results Show podcast. I'm your host, JBlaze39, and brought to you by DailyDraftAnalysis.com. We have 4 games left to get through. On the last podcast, we left off at with the Rams in Houston. I like this one. At least, I mean, the over-unders come down. It was at 47. Now it's at 45.5. But the spread has gotten bigger. It went from 11 to 12 in favor of the Rams. There's something might be to that. I mean, what Vegas is probably saying is, they think it's going to be a lower scoring game. And considering, because the prices are coming down, and they expect the Rams to win handily, which usually means good things for Gurley and the running back and the defense. Todd Gurley is well in play. I mean, he's becoming chalky. I think he's a little more contrarian than some people might like to admit. But it's Houston's got a good run defense overall. What I could see happening is the Rams they like to play to the over this year. I don't know if Houston can keep up with the Rams this week without Deshaun Watson. But if they get some competent quarterbacking by Tom Savage, this is one of them games that could turn into a shootout. Now, these teams don't play each other that often. So, Jared Goff is in play. Robert Woods is in play. Even Sammy Watkins is in play. My first choice there is Robert Woods. He seems to be the go-to guy, along with Todd Gurley. If you want to stack this game, I wouldn't blame you. What I would do is probably stack Goff, Gurley, and Woods, and then come back with DeAndre Hopkins, and maybe even Lamar Miller, or Deontay Freeman, or not Freeman, Foreman. Because they're going to be in catch-up mode probably. So, the other route you could go is Gurley and the Rams defense. So they are at home. They are a big favorite. So that bodes well for that type of game script. But the total seems kind of high for that. So, all right. Let's move on to the real chalky one, which is Dallas and Atlanta. Started off at over under 40 or 53. It went down to 48.5. A lot of that has to do with Ezekiel Elliott not going to be able to play. He's being suspended. So that has moved the needle a little bit on the points overall. I see this one being like a 31, 24, 20, 26 type of game. I think Atlanta's going to win because I think they're at home. Dallas is trying to find themselves after Zeke being out, so maybe a little regrouping. Dez Bryant is a little hobbled up, So I mean, Dak Prescott can do some magic too, but I think this is the week that Julio Jones gets it going. I see 125 yards and 2 touchdowns from Julio this week. He's only got 1 on the year, but he's way too talented, and he's off. He's not on the injury report this week for the first time all year. So Dallas secondary isn't very good. So another guy is Devontae Freeman. I personally, if you want to game stack this one, to get to separate yourself from the pack, because there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna have pieces of this game. But if you want to stack it up, what I might do is take Matt Ryan, or make one of Matt Ryan and pair him with Julio Jones, and maybe an Austin Cooper, just for touchdown down the seam or something. Just something along those lines. And possibly Devontae Freeman on the same lineup. And then bring it back with either Cole Beasley. If you have the room, you can go with Dez Bryant. I don't like his chances this week, to be honest with you. Also, you could go that Coleman, instead of Freeman, to save a little money and to fit everybody in. And then as far as running backs for Dallas, I like Rod Smith. If you go with Rod, a lot of people are going to be on Alfred Morris. I like Rod Smith to get some touches also. He's going to be the number 2 back. He is going to get playing time. He has more versatility. So that's where I would be going. So moving on to the next game, which is the last game on the slate for the main slate, is the San Francisco 49ers hosting the New York Football Giants. Over-under is 42. Giants are favored by 2.5. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play in this game, but I think C.J. Beathard could be on a short leash this week. So there is a possibility. I know the coaches have talked about him possibly coming in soon. So I've heard a guy I respect really liking this game. And I'm having a hard time understanding how. Maybe it's the point total. The theory is both defenses are terrible, so they can't stop each other. And there is some merit to that. But even though they got one win between the two teams for the whole year. Let's go each position here, let's see here. We got on the Giants side, of course, you got on the running back, you got Darkwa, and possibly even Shane Vereen. And then Evan Ingram, there's this receiver named King, last name King, who has caught some passes, but who knows? I mean, Sterling Shepard is the main guy here. He gets a lot of targets. I'm not stacking this game. I might take pieces of this game. Because nobody will have them. Nobody will be on this game. So, and this is something that could put you over the top by having these guys. Carlos Hyde, it'll be a fair amount of ownership, but not enough to be chalky either. I mean, it's going to be, 10% or less ownership on Carlos Hyde. I like Carlos Hyde a lot. He's going to get a lot of volume, a lot of touches this week. Another guy I like is Aldrick Robinson. And then there's Marquise Goodwin. I think he's still playing. Let's see here. Because I know, what's his name? The Pierre Garçon got hurt, so I'm just wondering if Goodwin is playing also. I'm kind of thinking so. Let's see here. Yeah, and these guys are cheap. That guy for the Giants, Tavares King, could be somebody to look at as a flyer. Aldrick Robinson is kind of took over the main duties there. Goodwin is good to go. Okay. All right. So Goodwin, he had 8 targets last week. He's like the top go-to receiver right now. After Pierre Garçon left. And he is the burner. So there is something to be said for playing him. He could get loose on a couple of plays. If you're really scraping for tight end and in money saver, you could go with Garrett Selleck. this is a guy that um, a guy I respect in this industry was high on. It sounds outside the box, which is right up my alley. So it's something that could work. It's a boom or bust type of play. He's only had 2 catches all year, but all the other tight ends are dinged up. So that leaves him left. And the ball's got to go somewhere. So, it's on DraftKings. I think it's like $2,500 minimum priced. So it could go that route. And as far as on the other side, I already listed all those guys. That's all I got for this game. Neither defense I like. I don't like either of them. So, but the next game there is, now we move to the primetime slate. New England going to Denver, face the Broncos. Over under started at 46.5. It's come down to 45. What do we know about this? New England's coming off of a bye. I believe they had a bye last week. Yeah, they had a bye. And I usually don't like picking on Denver defense, but they've given up a lot. That no-fly zone has been opened up the last couple weeks, the way it seems. So I don't know. I think these two teams know each other well, so it's hard to predict which one you're going to get now. Personally, being it's in Denver, I like Denver's defense, and the only people I'm going to even think about using is on the New England side is Gronkowski and Brady, maybe even Deion Lewis. And then on Denver's side, you could go with Emmanuel Sanders, maybe C.J. Anderson, but he's kind of in the doghouse lately, so I might go with Devin Booker or Devontae Booker. And not much else. Denarius Thomas, he's a red zone target, I guess. I guess in a pinch you could play him. But there's better options. So, especially if you're playing on FanDuel, it's, there's more choices. You don't need to reach for straws on the wide receivers here. So, I don't like any of the New England receivers at all. The last game here is on Monday night. Miami going to Carolina. Carolina is favored by 9. It was 10, but the over/under is at 30. It was at 39. Now it went down to 38. This is going to be a boring game. It's going to be a game that's I could see either defense. I could see using either defense on this. Because both quarterbacks are prone to throwing up clunkers. So now the only plan here is using Christian McCaffrey, maybe Devin Funches, and maybe even Ed Dixon in this mix. Curtis Samuel could be in play as a deep threat, but that's all I got. Cam Newton, I guess. So, on the other side, Miami. Well, which one are we gonna get? They're terrible right now. They've been playing terrible, but at any moment, they could turn it around because they have weapons, and Cutler does have the talent. It is prime time, so who knows? This could be one of them where he comes out guns a-blazing, meaning, all in Kenny Stills maybe, and Javion Landry, and Devontae Parker. Well, and who else is the running backs? It looks like it could be Drake. Is the guy that's going to get the first crack here? But I don't like either back here. So, in an ultimate GPP, and he could throw a Miami stack, just a game stack the whole thing, and just hope it goes off. And I wouldn't recommend doing that in a 2-game slate, but if you're on FanDuel and you have these games included with your contests, by all means, go for it. So, anyway, that's gonna do it for this week's edition of the Fantasy Results Show. Write me back and let me know. Give me some feedback on on these podcasts. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's things I can do to improve. Just some type of feedback would be great. Maybe some. I think there's a rating system on there. You can rate the show, and that will help the show tremendously. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Anyway, let's go get some money. It's there. It's there for us to take. We just got to take it. Let's get them. All right. You have a good week. Thanks, guys.